All right, so the pause didn't work. But anyway, so I said what I had to say about YouTube. Then the next day after that whole entire dramatics happened, then the G7 summit came in on the YouTube and was talking about how they were worried about the minimum, or how they were going to pass, and all the conglomerates were ready to pay their minimum 15%. They were ready to pay it. Mind you, that 15% is not taken into consideration. That's the minimum. That's not taking into consideration their offshore accounts. That's not taking into consideration all of the properties and the assets that they hold that are not on record. Okay? That's taking none of that. But somehow we're supposed to be like, oh yeah, give us those breadcrumbs. We love them. The way that the fucking governments run, they are living off of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They get full health care benefits. Their asses are technically living the high life. They're running our equipment into the ground by campaigning all over the place. In the age of the internet, when they could be campaigning online and everybody could be seeing them, and they don't have to go anywhere. They're flying around all the fuck over the place like that shit is doing something. We don't want to see their fucking asses. We don't want to see their asses. We want to hear fucking actual positive change. And we don't want to hear Obama, oh, let's make change. No, fuck that. We want to hear positive change in our direction. We want our quality of life to look better. We want our fucking health care. And we don't want that health care to look like, how Europe looks when somebody says, oh, I was abducted by an alien, I need an MRI, and the fucking people are looking at them like, oh no, you don't need an MRI. If they need an MRI, if you can't sit there and tell them, if you weren't there to see that they actually got abducted and you don't know what the fucking hell is wrong with them and they clearly look like something is wrong with them, you need to do an MRI, and you don't need to be questioning them because they didn't go to medical school. Can you give them a response? Can you give them an answer? Let me put it to you this way. I went to the doctor, and we're not even on European universal healthcare type shit. But this is how they would do it. And this is how they do it now without it. So I know it would be 10 times worse. So that's why when I say, oh, universal healthcare, we're not talking about Medicaid or Medicare. We're talking about Medicaid, where everything is paid for. And whenever we need anything, that shit is taken care of, and that's it, right? No questions asked. Whatever you need to solve your fucking problems, we're there. Just like they do the soldiers when they come out of the military. They fucking baby them. They'll put Pampers on their asses. They'll fucking send them to fucking aquatic therapy. Everything. They give them everything. And don't get me wrong, they should, because their fucking budget definitely has it. Okay? But they're sitting over there trying to penny pinch and act like they don't print money, like that shit is not fucking I don't know, random ass orange juice that I'm putting in my fucking cup. That's how they're taking care of them. That's how they're printing their money. So they're sitting there trying to act broke because they're in a deficit. They are in a deficit. They always going to be in a deficit because debt is a business model. Debt is a business model. If you start operating in the green, look at Donald Trump. How do you go from 7 bankruptcies, which is in the red, in debt? How do you go from 7 bankruptcies to being a president and everybody's still telling you you're still a good businessman? Look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk operates in the red. All of his companies operate in the red. They're in the red. They're in debt. The only thing that differentiates between them and us is they get the contracts to get their income coming in. Little old us with our small businesses and you know, fledgling businesses, if we don't have a support system and people buying our shit, then we don't have any income. We cannot hedge that income with credit, against credit, so that we can use that credit and be in more debt and then make product that's selling, but hey, we're in debt, right? We can't do that. It doesn't work for us. It works for them, though, because they're pouring the money into them. They're not pouring the money into us. And if they are, they're trying to tell us that they're loaning it, our own money, to us. And then if they try to sit there and say, oh, well, we're in debt, so, you know, and the central bank has control and blah, 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 we're just printing the money. Our time, our attention, when we're sitting on Facebook trying to debate our feelings and shit, to teach them how to administrate, that itself is a job position. Every single last one of our asses should be getting money for that time that we're sitting there fucking debating that shit on fucking Facebook. But instead of doing that, they're too busy fucking making a goddamn police force inside the goddamn Facebook and fucking financing Facebook to fucking sit there and try to catch some criminals, okay, for petty shit. Our time and our attention backs the American dollar. It backs that shit. Every fucking second of that shit backs that shit. Every time we go online, our fucking time watching shorts and all that shit, we fucking paying them. Our time is making them rich being on their website. Our traffic. So, now, let's go a step deeper and think about. Let me pause because I was gonna go on a whole tangent, but it was relevant. It was relevant to the point. I gotta think about it because there's so much. It's like I gotta be able to like spin around in a tornado and come back to the fucking eye of the storm. It's gonna take me a second because I was going on a lot of shit. Oh, so you have people on, oh, there we go. So you have people on the left and you have people on the right. A lot of them want to regulate because shit, man, like we need a better quality of life. Everybody needs a better quality of life no matter what. There's overabundance of food. They want to fuck up the shipping and not get the food where it needs to go. They want to fuck up with the technology and not let the fucking water go where it needs to go. They want to fuck up with the electricity and not let it go where it needs to go. I mean, they're still telling us that the Egyptians made all them damn pyramids just to bury people. Just to bury people. Okay? JP Morgan was the ones who made they had the money. They financed Tesla and then they turned around. Excuse me, I'm picking up dog shit because my dogs poop on their little grass, so I had to take a time out. So JP Morgan financed Tesla, but then when they realized how much of a genius that Tesla was, then they employed all of their financial ability to squash his existence because JP Morgan was invested in the oil and gas industry. So if Tesla came out and was popping with his free electricity, like how kind of like we are now with the solar panels, they would not need gas and electric. So they will be losing trillions of dollars, which fine, fuck it. Let them lose the trillions of dollars. How much have we fucking suffered? I mean, in all honesty, would people, everyday people that are not spoon-fed, everyday people, how do you think that they would feel if they were able to make their own electricity, get their own water, and make their own food? And build their own shit? Or use those resources to get money to build their own shit. Vehicles, homes, whatever. Would they not have a better lot in life? Or would they be sitting here fucking stressing because they don't have shit or they're fucking starving? No. They would be doing the best that they could. So JP Morgan shut them down. Robinhood just left. Robinhood, the stock app, just left a banking industry or a banking company that was called Sutton Bank last week. And they went over to JP Morgan Chase. And I was like, no. They did. They did it. And I mean, I'm not even gonna go even into that, but the issue that we have here is that the oil and the gas industry, we already know how to make diesel fuel. Diesel fuel, you make diesel fuel by melting down plastic. Basic, easy. You distill, it's like making liquor, distilling liquor. You burn plastic, distill that plastic, and you make diesel fuel. That's how you make diesel fuel, to fuel your fucking semi-trucks. You got fuel for your semi-trucks. You don't got to pay money for a semi-truck. That means that you take the overhead off of the trucking industry, and then it doesn't cost so goddamn much for you to fucking fuel your goddamn semi-trucks. Do you know how much money you'll be making? You know how much money you'll be making? If you were selling gas to the gas station on top of fucking delivering shit, you know how much money you'll be making? Bank. That's why they don't want you to be making your own gas. And it's illegal in mad places. That's why they don't want you to collect the rainwater, and it's illegal in mad places in the U.S. because they don't want you to do that. They don't even want you to build your own shit. They make you have permits for every fucking trash-ass bullshit. They make you build a house before you build a shed. How the fuck are you supposed to build a house on an empty lot when you don't have nowhere to put your tools at? How is that even logical? I got a piece of property. How the fuck am I supposed to build a house when I'm not even allowed to build a damn shed and put my damn tools in the shed? How is that supposed to happen? I'm supposed to roll up with a fucking 7x10 trailer with all the fucking goddamn tools in it and sit there and camp out looking all crazy? How is that a thing? So, the reason they don't want to regulate, the governments don't want to regulate these companies is, and this is not talked about a lot, but I'm going to say it. When you work at a government agency, you get paid a lot of money a year, but then they also have stock options. You have your 401k, which is your retirement money. And that's not just the government, that's private industry as well. And many of the private industries, they match your 401k donations, your contributions to your 401k. So they put their money in, they giving the money. You work for it. Why not? If they claim they're decent, they're giving it. The issue is that publicly traded companies on the stock market, if they have dividends, they got to pay you. If they don't have dividends, then the only way you're making money is if the stock price goes up. So, if you try to regulate a conglomerate or a publicly traded company, they will retaliate against you, or they will be afraid that they will retaliate against you, and then they wouldn't want to regulate them, because once those companies retaliate against you and all of your hard-earned money is in the stock market, on Wall Street, in publicly traded companies, and you're not an investor, no, you just give your money to investors and then you let them manage your money. They're not telling you what they're buying. You don't fucking know what they're buying. If you don't sit there and ask them, you're not gonna know. You're not gonna know. So if you don't get involved and invested and emotionally and mentally invested in your 401k plan, that means that you're sitting there giving your money away to some random ass fucking trash ass schmuck that's probably a cokehead, okay? Trying to make as much as they can off of your fucking money. And then They got a whole fucking mafia going on to keep their companies above water and keep your fucking your dividends coming in and your stock price looking good. Fuck everybody else. Fuck everybody else. As long as that money's coming in for you, so when you retire, you got some money. And instead of regulating them and making sure, because it would be illegal for them to retaliate against them like that. It would be illegal. That's not even legal. You can't even do that shit. So imagine if they regulated them and then they fucked them over. They could sue them on top of them. Even if they fucked them over, they could still sue them. They could bankrupt them, take every fucking penny, own everything that they got. Own everything that they got. Instead of fucking bossing up and taking the reins of these horses, they want to sit out there and be like, ooh, we'll let them, we don't even want to give them minimum wage. We're going to wait till 2025 to go to $15 an hour. Last time I made $15 an hour, I was in high school. Last time I was working, I was making $50 an hour. $50 an hour working landscaping. My employees were making $15 an hour with no experience. And I was training them. And these motherfuckers, that was 2012. We're in 2021. They're talking about they're going to take to 2025 for the minimum wage of $15 an hour. That's what they're trying to okie doke us and tell us. So what are we doing? We're playing game. They playing games with us. They're playing games. And we sitting up in here, oh, the racism. Yes, there's racists. Even if you take all the racists out, the racist system is still in operation. On multiple fronts. The elitist shit, that shit is still going down. If they want to sit there, and I'm not even a person, I think psychology is a pseudoscience. But because of the fact that all of their tests, they're taking pictures of the brain. They're not taking the pictures of the brain every day, all day. The brain changes. The shit changes. I mean, even depending on what the temperature of your room is, the brain changes that delicately. They're sitting up here taking a picture of the brain, talking about, oh, that person's a serial killer. Oh, that person's this, this, and that. Diagnosing them, drugging them, doing all this shit. So for them to have all these definitions, no, they need more evidence. So I consider them a pseudoscience. But if we want to go, because I like to do it like this, because if that's what they want to go on, we'll go on that. We'll go on their religion and we'll go on their science. Their current science is this. That's how narcissists behave. That's how suicidal people behave. If that's the case, then they're unfit for their positions. They should be removed from their positions. Get capable people for those positions so that we have a better quality of life, because clearly they have us fucked up. Hoarding, they consider a mental illness. They're hoarding money. They should be in a mental institution, right? Is that not right? Or we just, we want to give them a pass because it's a blue collar crime when the entire world is suffering. I mean, honestly, I don't care. I would rather Mother Earth just open up and swallow them whole. Sink holes underneath their mansions. Sink holes underneath the ground that their fucking yacht is rolling over, or the ocean that their yacht is rolling over. Suck them in. Suck them in. Take them. I mean, it would save us right now, but somebody would fill their place. I'm just saying, it would be an easy fix without the bureaucracy. Let Mother Earth get that wrathful and see how they like it. But I think the problem could be solved in plenty ways. I have an overabundance of solutions to the problems, and plenty of people do as well. The problem is they don't want to hear that. They don't want to fuck up those stock prices. They don't want to fuck up them 401ks, and they don't want to feel like they're assed out in retirement. I say, if I'm in retirement right now and my ass is sitting here even bothering to do a fucking video just because my retirement money is not even taking care of me, that I had to start 2 businesses just so I could support myself, because the shit that I was being given off of my hard-earned fucking, I've been working since I was fucking 15. I'm 36. I should at least have a decent amount of money every month to fucking survive off of. And I don't even have that. I gotta go out here hustling and busting my fucking ass with all these goddamn disabilities that I got. And the physical disabilities that I got. And still with no support. Not from family and friends, nor from none of these people's fucking industries. So, what are we doing? We're playing fucking games. That's why they call it gamification. They want to say our whole entire reality is a simulation only because of the fact that the reason that they learn their math and their science is because they robbed that shit from fucking Vedic Indians. And even the Vedic Indians didn't even have all the information. And they just created a whole entire world around false math. False math. It's not to say it wasn't intricate math. It's that it wasn't all the math. And now we're stuck on that trash-ass decimal system of their property. And now, what? We're supposed to sit there and act like everything's okay. Sure, you can get TikTok famous, but you need to remember that there was a show called Mr. Rogers, and you're supposed to care about your neighbors. All right? Sure, I could have been got up years ago. I've been seeing this shit for 6 years, but I care about my neighbors. I like my neighbors. I like my neighbors. They're old people. They don't fuck with nobody. Nobody goes to visit them. They're all by themselves. How the fuck would you feel if you lived like that? How would you feel? I fucking stay there. I stay here to fucking take care of my neighbors. And I could have been gone out this bitch. Been living the van life. Been living the SUV life. Been out here fucking whatever, doing whatever the fuck on YouTube. I'm not doing that because I'm a self-advocate for myself. But then there's people that are scared to be self-advocates. They cannot do it. They're like paralyzed. Some of them can't even get out the bed. Some of them don't even know how to read. And people are acting like they can't comprehend that because they never seen no shit like that before. I'm telling you, it's grown-ass people in here that don't even know how to fucking read. Even in their own language. So I can't just be like, oh, fuck them. They're going to die anyway. Fuck it. That's not good karma. It's not. So I don't care what anybody says. At the end of the day, these guys are out here trying to fucking okie doke everybody. Trying to make it seem like they are fucking daddy do-gooders when they're nothing but a fucking money-hungry ass fuckers. That's why they don't want to be famous. If they were famous, then they would be able to be judged. Then they would be able to be publicly judged. The famous people, you know what they are? They're fucking sensitives. Sensitives that are like empaths or like people that are hypersensitive on a neurological standpoint, that they have abused and manipulated and drugged for so long that they almost resemble what they claim is a narcissist. Almost. They're that fucked up. Or they died already. They used them. They died already. They got them as their front men because they don't want to be in the public eye. They don't want to be scrutinized. If they were scrutinized, we will pick them apart. No, we wouldn't even pick them apart like vultures. I will pick them apart like a fucking master surgeon. Okay? Every little sliver and corner of where their brain actually twists and turns to justify their trash-ass behavior is how I would pick their ass apart. That's why they don't even want to put their face. If I seen a picture of them, I will be able to tell you the type of person they are. That's why they don't even want to have their picture on their public fucking goddamn internet profiles. They want to be locked up somewhere in their fucking mansions and only take their fucking bodyguards in their vehicles and show up to a summit, say what they got to say, and boom, they're done. They escape. They go back to their little hideout. They don't want to be seen by no sensitives. They don't want to be seen by no psychics. They don't want to be seen by none of them because they know then their fucking business will be aired out. They don't want to do that. Once the lie is over, then the lie is over. And we're the type of people that we want win-win situations. We don't want to say, we're not like, anarchists are the type of people that want to burn everything down and just let it be a free-for-all. No, we're not anarchists. People like me are not anarchists. We like anarchists because they the ones that burn shit down. Hell, let them burn it down. If they want to burn it down, fuck it. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't me. The anarchists want to burn it down because they're just as fucking shitty in their own way, and they just want the chance to be able to express themselves in that way. No, we want a win-win situation for everyone. Anybody that understands, I'm refilling my drink, so never mind that you're staring at all of my vodka bottles on the top of my cabinets. Don't worry about that. What was I gonna say? What was I saying? Shit. Oh, so if we were back in bumblefuck times, in tribe times, there was no money. In barter times, there was no money. So yeah, we could barter and that shit worked. But they've created so many systems around money and around, credit and these things that it makes it very much more harder to just hit the eject button and move away from that. I mean, the best that we could do to move away from that would be to go towards some sort of digital currency. The issue with the digital currency is that it's highly unstable because of the fact that they claim that they don't have any resources really to back it. But they do have the resources to back it. There's no difference between the digital currency and the currency that is, what are they calling it? Fiat currency. Fiat currency, they're saying, is backed by gold and natural resources, but that's not the whole truth. The whole truth is that fiat currency is, especially in America, because how are we in this much debt? We don't have that much gold. We don't have that much gems and diamonds and whatever the fuck. We don't have that, but we do have a lot of people. Why the fuck do you think China said, hey, you guys can now have an extra kid? How long were they only allowed to have 2 kids? Or 1 kid? I don't even know what the number was. But it was either 1 or 2. Now you can have 3 kids? Because everybody's currency, everybody's overspending. Everybody's overspending. Oh, I gotta pee now. Everybody's overspending. So even if China has, let's say, a shitload of gold, they still spend more than the gold that they got. Same thing with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, their whole entire country is a welfare state. The whole entire thing. And everybody complains about the welfare state, and they like to go and sit there and say, they like to reference Marxism and say, oh, Marxism is the downfall. Well, what are you calling Saudi Arabia? And Saudi Arabia is they make their own islands and everything. You can parachute off a building there. Everything is futuristic. All of their people are living the lavish life. They've got Lamborghinis by the thousands, okay? So what are you saying about that lifestyle? Because they're getting that money. They can't say that that's oil money because, yes, they are sitting on a shitload of oil. But the amount of fucking people that they have in their welfare fucking country, they pay their rent, they pay their food, and they get a cash allowance. They get a cash allowance and everything. I'm peeing while I'm on the phone. Don't judge me. I don't give a shit. I gotta pee. So they are a welfare state, basically. Exactly. Not basically. Exactly. So they always like to go to countries that are that have tried Marxism and failed and blah, 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 and talk Marxism, this, and that. But Marxism isn't even the issue. It's not even Marxism that's the worry, because what is the issue is that there's people that are taking tax money from other people, and then some of them are trying to do right by the people and the others don't give a fuck. Places like Saudi Arabia were rich off of oil money, and they didn't have the whole Marxist system set up. But guess what? They can't support all those people because they're running at they're dipping into their oil reserves. So they don't even have a Marxist system, and that shit is fucked up. So what they would need to do is now get out of my damn. This damn dog was just trying to drink out of my cup. Boy, we will fight up in here. We will fight. Not my cup that I just refilled. Oh no. Look at him looking too. What? What did I do? What? You're a fucker. Anyway, so let's just say they had a jump start on the Marxism, right? So what they did was, which is honestly, they had the resources to do what they wanted to do. So they had the oil to be able to take care of their people, but because they have so many people, because they're procreating. They're procreating. They're not sitting there not procreating. So they're definitely procreating. So you got a bunch of people on welfare. Now your oil stash is, dwindling. Your oil stash is dwindling. What are you going to do? Well, people are on welfare, but look at all of them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, making money. They're making money. Next thing you know, Saudi Arabia is going to be like, listen, we're going to have to start taxing these businesses. We're going to start having to tax you, for these children. We're going to have to tax you for this, this, and that. Because they got to get their money back. Because if they're feeding them and doing all this shit. Now, honestly, hopefully, they don't even have to do that. Hopefully, they could come off of that entire backpedal that they would have to do, because once they gave them a jump start, then they should be able to be all right. Right? That would be the ideal situation. But we'll see. Because, people that are disabled and people that are elderly, they're not a small demographic. So, sometimes you have to take care. And then taxes then end up having to come into play. But all the other places that are sitting there acting like the tax dollars were taking care of the welfare, it wasn't happening. Because they were making money off of us sitting at home. Even if they were financing this tiny little piece of the pie, they were getting the 1/4 of the pie. They were getting 3/4 of the pie while we're sitting at home on the struggle. And then they're sitting there crying broke. But their cash flow is astronomical. Their cash flow is astronomical. But they're acting like it's not. Because if you look at places like Tesla, and I keep going, bringing them back up, and all these other places that are in debt, they're in debt, but their contracts and their cash flow is high. It's high. That's how they're allowed to go and operate off credit. That's how they're allowed to sit there and stay in the red and still make money, because they're selling mad vehicles because they got the money to make more vehicles off of credit. Because their cash flow is coming in good. So, at the end of the day, everybody has their own little hustle going on. And everybody's shit is just, fucked still in itself. But you don't see anybody else except for America trying to act like they daddy do-gooder world police up in this bitch. You got NATO and you got the UN. But even they still turn the blind eye to America. And then when every time the people that sat there and said, that are sitting there saying now, America first, bring back manufacturing. Those old ass people fucking decades ago were the fucking reason in the first place that the goddamn manufacturing and all of that goddamn trillions of dollars worth of business went to China in the first place. They're the reason. They're the ones who did that. They fired everybody and put all their manufacturing and all their customer service over to China and over to India. And we had to fucking suffer because of that. Plenty of us lost our jobs. I lost my job. And where I was making $15 an hour in a warehouse, yeah, I was working 14-hour shifts, double shifts and everything. But I had 401k, match stock options. I had health care. Like, I was good. But, well, before I went to police academy. But, still, they were like, oh, I want to save money for our shareholders. And they took their fucking shit and went overseas decades ago. Now, all of a sudden, magically, now they got morals and ethics and they want to sit there and bring manufacturing back. No, they're only doing that shit because now minorities are like learning about business, and like more of them, not just because some minorities did know. They did learn. They got in the right crowds. They learned. They went to school. They learned. But a lot of people, they didn't know that shit. They didn't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just learning that along the way, meeting people in the bars that are fucking randomly telling them little pieces of shit. And they're like, what? And then they're like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to make a business. And we don't have support system. All these white people that are like rich people tell you, that are rich business people, go into their seminars and they're like, your first customers are your family and your friends. That's white people. White people's family, even if they don't like each other, they still support each other. Chinos, they still support each other. Arabs, they still support each other. Black people and Hispanic people do not support each other. They do not do that. They will kick their children to the street if they do not follow their guidelines, and that's it. You will be a homeless person. You can have the best shit. Your products could be, you could be really artistic. You can have good shit. They will not buy it. And that's talking from experience. I've made more money from strangers than I've fucking made from my family and my fucking friends. And I go, friends, like that, because they come around because they just want to party and have a good time. But they really don't want to do anything. Like, they're not on the same wave as me on the entrepreneurial spirit. They're not on that. They want to, like, get partners and make babies and fucking just barely, just skate by. I don't want to do that. I'm not for that life. So, now that we are finally starting to get on the wave, trying to get these government contracts and be out here and do shit, now, all of a sudden, they want to sit there and bring manufacturing back. When manufacturing comes out, we can't even afford right now to buy from American people right now. Imagine if all manufacturing comes back and all those white people that enriched themselves, made themselves millionaires, multi-millionaires off of working with China, they come back over here and they get their machines and they get themselves back in debt again. And then they try to sell us products to business products, and then we try to sell our products. None of our people or nobody will be able to afford that shit. They wouldn't. We're barely able to afford that shit now, and these people are doing business with China now. They're getting their products now cheapy, and they're charging us like 1,000% markup. Imagine how that shit is going to look like when America gets control of the manufacturing again. Nobody's going to be able to buy it. We'll go bankrupt and we'll be dead. They'll be acquiring all our businesses. We'll be back in a situation that we'd have to work for them, and we'll be asked out. No, we want to work with China. No, we do not support child slavery, okay? But they got all the machines. They make all the boats. They do all the shit that is fucking fast and cheap. And if they got rich off of that shit, we're going to get rich off of that shit too, and we don't want to hear shit about nobody's damn tariffs in this bitch. We don't, because we know that they don't have our back when it comes to public housing, going from Section 8 to letting our Section 8 pay for a mortgage. They complain about, oh, look at all these empty houses, blah, blah, blah. Who was the ones who said we can't use our Section 8 to pay mortgage? Who approved that? Who agreed with that? Who said it? Because if you claim you want people off of Section 8, then you should be letting us use our Section 8 for mortgages, so that once our mortgage is paid off, we don't no longer need to be on Section 8 and we'll be good by ourselves. But no, they didn't want to do that. They want to be cheapy and say people were wanting handouts while they themselves were getting grant money, free money, while they were getting bailed out from their debt, while we were paying our... How many of us had fucking school debt? How many didn't get bailed out? This is the shit that we're dealing with here. And they want to sit there and act like fucking communist China is any worse. Or they're any better. No. They're just sneakier with their fuck shit. Then they want to sit there and be like, oh, go vote. Why the fuck is anybody from Iran running for office in New York City? Why is any Jew running for office in New York City? How do they connect with New York City? Aside from the immigrant population. How do they connect? And you would have to, when I say that, you would have to go back into the history of the people themselves, their last names, where they came from, who they married. The amount of research that you have to do on these people is astounding. Why do we have caucuses? Why are just not regular people that have sense able to just get up and say, oh, I'm going to vote. I'm going to go in office. The caucus itself is a shady shit show. We don't even want that. You've heard, join the Republican Party, join the Democratic Party. How many of you have ever heard, well, here's an invitation to the Republican caucus. Here's an invitation to the Democratic caucus. The caucus is the ones who pays money to go eat food and listen to potential candidates, and then during those events they pick those potential candidates and then fucking regurgitate them down to us. And then who's to fucking say that those people know anything about our fucking struggle? Because you came from Iran as an immigrant, you know the fucking struggle of a fucking New Yorkian. New Yorkian. Not New Yorican, a New Yorkian. Or because you're a Jew, oh, you know what it's like to be all the New Yorkians. You might know what it's like to be the landlords for sure. But you don't know what it's like to be like all the New Yorkans or the New Yorkians. You don't know that. How am I supposed to vote for that? And why the fuck in a primary election am I not presented with Republican candidates or independent candidates? Why am I only stuck there voting for Democrats? And I said the same exact thing when it was Republicans in the primary. I'm like, now I got to change my party to vote for somebody? Why do we not have it like basketball tournaments where everybody is just like, boom, these are the candidates that's running. Pick your fucking choices. Do your research. Pick your people. Boom, we go to the next level. Boom, we go to the next level for the next one. Boom, we go to the next level for the next one. Now we have the final whatever. And then this is the last election. And that's it. That will be equal elections. That will be equal elections. So it will be like a tournament. Now they're just fucking spoon feeding us porqueria. Porqueria. Bullshit. They're giving us bullshit. We don't want bullshit. We don't want bear shit. We don't want shark shit. We don't want gazelle shit. We don't want no alligator shit. We don't... What's the rest of the things that... We don't want whale shit. Okay? That's the names that they give for big businesses. That's the names that they have gazelles. They have whales. They have sharks. They have bears. The bears are the welfare of Wall Street. They're the ones who are losing their stock shares, and everybody's betting against them that they're going to lose. And losing makes these fucking people money. That's when your stock price is going down. You're bearish when you're going down. Because, you know, when you go into hibernation, you go down. You're bullish when you're going up and you're about to turn up like a bull in a china shop. That's bullish. And that, out of everything that I said, when I was talking about how the reason why they don't regulate is because of the governments and private industry has stakes in their stocks, you know, they're publicly shared companies, right? So, with that in mind, I had a divine download, and I'm going to close it out on this because I'm done. I'm done after this, and that's it. I'm going to have me a few more drinks, and I'm going to take my ass to sleep. The sun is coming up, and I need to take my ass to sleep, and I'm done with this free education, and that's it. But there is a bull statue on Wall Street where this bull is just looking like it's about to turn up, right? So this bull is on Wall Street, and it was been there already. It's like a Wall Street art piece, and it's there. But then randomly, somebody put a little girl in front of this bull statue with her hands on her hips in the power position, like, fuck this bull up, right? So as I was going on this little rant and like really upset about just everything, and I was expressing it to someone who is just as equally serious about life as I am, but, you know, as well as passionate and just, you know, likes to like throw things around and like discuss. I thought about it, and I said, after I said what I said about the what I just said about how and why they don't regulate, I just came out of my little thumb. It was out of my, it would have been out of my mouth if they were in front of me, but it was out of my little thumb. I came out and I said, you know what? Wall Street, the reason that bull is there and that little girl is there is to represent that Wall Street, America, the governments, all of them, local and federal, are the bull. They're a bull in a china shop because they put all of our manufacturing. They did business with China. Hell, China back in the day even laid railroad tracks throughout our country. They fucking paid them to lay railroad tracks. So like they be shitting on China, but they did business with them way back in the day. So like they shit on them, and they were a dictatorship back then. They wasn't no different than they are now. Shit. So they used them back then. Now they want to throw them away like they're fucking trash now. And I'm like, listen. The bull is America. America is a bull in a china shop. Wall Street is the man that has the bull by the ball sack. And the little girl is like people like me who really thought about all that shit and really dedicated our time to trying to understand what the hell is going on. Okay? And we're the type of people that are standing there in the power position in front of that fucking bull. And we're looking at that bull and we're like, we got the bull by the horns. We got the bull by the horns. They got the bull by the nutsack. We got the bull by the horns. Do you want to see yourself get ripped in half? Because you're not going to break evenly. You're going to break into little shreds. Like the ninja machine does to like meat when you put it in it. Like that. It's going to break in shreds. It's going to be pieces everywhere, and it's going to be a shit show. And it's going to be really bad. And that's how I think about it. I'm like, it's going to be, they think like, oh, it's going to be, they don't have no money. No. Imagine everybody in the bread line. Imagine all these people that don't know shit about shit now having to be self-sustaining farms. Can you imagine the shit show? Oh my God. Like, I think about it, I'm like, hey, I'm ready. I was raised by a Marine, so I'm ready for anything. But the rest of these guys, they're not ready. They'll be the first ones to go. And we honestly don't want it to be like that. We would like it to be win-win-win situation for everyone, but they don't want it to be win-win situation for everyone. They want it to be a fucking struggle. Like, why? That's stupid. Like, we still have to sustain ourselves. If you want to try to, like, escape the planet, fine. But you can't fuck the planet over, because let's say you escape, where are you going to go back to in an emergency? Okay? You're digging your own grave. That's what you're doing. So, if you know that you need all of us to sustain this whole entire planet, you can't be willy-nilly running around here fucking us up and having us live in this shit-ass quality of life. Because as a matter of fact, we might do like the Jamaican bobsled team in this bitch and fucking build some Israeli-type fucking, ground-to-air missiles in this bitch, so that if you decide you want to go to outer space and then you want to come back, we'll turn your ass into dust in the fucking ionosphere and the atmosphere, so that you can't even land in this bitch after you did us this goddamn bad. After you did us this goddamn bad. And you had all these people out here fucking dying of fucking hunger and thirst when you had all the technology. Your fucking hoarders need to go to goddamn psychotherapy. Go to cognitive behavioral therapy. You need some help. I'm going to end it on that, because fuck that. We're not dealing with that shit. That's bullshit. That's bear shit. That's whale shit. That's gazelle shit. That's fuck shit. We don't like that shit. We think you people are trash. Trash. We don't give a fuck about your degree. We don't give a shit about your fucking, well, your lineage. None of that shit. That shit is petty and irrelevant. Irrelevant. Because clearly you do not possess the goddamn common sense. You don't.